Almost 2 years ago, in 2024, I made a video talking about updating your Shopify theme. I explained how the automatic update works. That when you click update, it creates a copy of your theme and it moves across all of your theme settings, copies them to the new theme. However, if you have any code edits, if you customized any of the theme files, those changes would unfortunately be lost. They would not be copied across, and you needed to manually sort of go back, look at your old theme, and copy and paste those changes. Now that's what I said 2 years ago, but luckily that is no longer the case. The good news is that now, in April 2026, when you do the automatic update in Shopify, it will actually copy across some of your code changes, okay? Some of them. Yeah, the bad news is that not all your code changes will be copied across to the updated theme. And it can be confusing, can be a bit of a task to actually track down and understand which changes were lost. Actually, I'll give you a quick summary. It's that if anything is in a separate file, then you're quite safe. Okay, if your CSS is in its own custom.css file, for example, or if it's a section that you added, maybe one of my sections that you bought, maybe a section that you bought from the Section Store app, all of those things will be completely new files. And when it's its own separate file, that will easily get copied across to the updated theme. However, if you made code edits in existing files, such as in the theme.liquid file, as I will show you in this video, that will not be copied across. I recently helped an actual store with their theme update. They were using Impact version 4 and they had a lot of customizations, right? They were working with a developer previously, so this wasn't me. So that made it slightly more difficult because I didn't even have like a list of changes that were made to the theme, right? And yeah, they wanted to update to Impact version 7. So the first thing that I did was run that automatic update. I updated the theme. It creates a copy, it copied the settings across, and it copied some of the code changes across, but not all of them. So here I have those two themes open. So please pay attention to what's in here, Impact 4, and when I switch, I just have these two windows, you see, Impact 7. So if you skip through this video, check which theme we're currently looking at, okay? I know they look similar and I'll be switching between both quite quickly. Anyway, so we're looking at Impact 4 right now. As I mentioned, they were using a lot of sections from Section Store, and all those sections you install from Section Store will be prefixed with this SS, you see? I'm just searching this theme, but you can also use the file browser here. So in your sections folder, these are all the sections from Section Store. Let's switch over to Impact 7 and see if this was copied across. And if I look in the sections folder, yes, those SS sections are all there. Similarly, they were using my breadcrumbs section that they bought from my store. It's called ed_breadcrumbs. All of my sections, I prefixed them with ed. In Impact version 7, they also have my breadcrumbs section, so they did not have to do anything manually to get those breadcrumbs working again in the new theme. The other things that would easily copy across are various snippet files and various assets that were added to the theme. So in the assets folder, you might have things like icons, you might have some kind of logo or something, and all of those will be automatically copied across to the new theme with no problem. Now let's talk about the things that don't get copied across. These are things that developers call a conflict or a merge conflict. These are situations when you change something on your theme and the theme developer also changed that same place or that same file. Let's imagine that you had some customizations to the Add to Cart button. If the theme did not make any changes to the Add to Cart button, you might be okay. Your changes might be copied across. However, if the theme developers also made some changes to the Add to Cart button code, your changes will be discarded. Shopify will always use the more official version. So when you're updating the theme and you're trying to merge those two, it's going to see that, okay, the theme update and your version both change the same thing. We're going to use the official theme update instead. And so here are some examples where this store made some changes that were lost during the automatic update. So for example, we're looking at theme.liquid. and they have Google Tag Manager. You guys might be using this as well. That did not get copied across. If I'm looking at the theme.liquid in Impact version 7, it's completely missing that code. The next thing we have is that their developer used jQuery and Slick Carousel for some additional sliders. So these are 2 lines in theme.liquid as well that were not carried across to the new theme.liquid automatically. The biggest change and the biggest loss of code happened inside theme.css. So what their developer did was added a lot of new code at the end of theme.css, which is not that bad. It's definitely preferable to actually editing the body of the theme.css. Guys, whenever you're writing CSS, if you're a developer, if you're a beginner developer, I recommend not modifying the existing theme.css, but rather overriding actually in CSS that is lower down in the file, right? So yeah, this is all their code starting from approximately here, around 300 lines of CSS, and unfortunately that did not get copied across to version 7, because version 7 also added lots of new stuff towards the end of the file, right? I think if Impact version 7 did not make any changes to their theme.css, and the only changes were coming from our side, then that would actually have been carried across. However, because Impact version 7 also rewrote their theme.css, so we lost all our theme.css changes, right? All the styling changes. So that's something that I then added back into the version 7 theme. Likewise with theme.js, this is the file that stores most of the JavaScript that runs your theme. They added some code here at the end for Slick. This was lost as well. So Impact version 7, when we look at theme.js, towards the end, it doesn't have any of that code. So this wouldn't have been a problem if they had created a custom.js file and put their JavaScript in that custom.js. Right? Then that entire file, custom.js, would have been moved across and they wouldn't have lost the JavaScript. Yeah, likewise with the CSS. Finally, another small example of a custom feature that was added. They had this delivery message block right under the add to cart button. And so that's a custom block with this code inside of productinfo.liquid. And it also has the settings for it so that you can control it, right? Are in main product.liquid. And so because main product.liquid and productinfo.liquid both changed, so that code was lost. And you know, the reason there were so many changes, by the way, is that we're updating the theme for the first time since like 3 years, right? Impact version 4 came out in 2023 and we're updating to the 2026 version. So in 3 years, a lot of changes have been made. If it was not 3 years, if it was something more like 1 year, then maybe the theme update would not have been so large and maybe more of our code would have come across. All right, and here's some tips if you are a developer or you're not a developer, but you're modifying your theme by yourself anyway. Here's some best practices to follow. First of all, for your CSS, if there's going to be a lot of it, put it in its own custom.css file, or name it however you want, but create a separate CSS file. Of course, write CSS that overrides the theme CSS. Do not edit the actual theme CSS if you can avoid it at all. Most of the time you can avoid it. It's all about using greater specificity, right? And creative targeting. Now, if you are making a custom section, then make sure that, you know, that's going to be its own file. Keep your CSS and style sheet tags inside that new section file, or in separate CSS files, yeah. Basically, everything is about trying to keep things as separate as possible from the theme. Try to create new files rather than editing existing files. You know, even if you are modifying an existing section, consider creating a duplicate of that section for that customer. And then they'll have that duplicate. Just let the store owner know that they have these 2 versions of the file. At least when they update, nothing will break, they won't lose anything, they will still have that section that they were using. And finally, just leave comments in code for other developers. Use large comment blocks to kind of separate things. It just makes it easier to go through your code later and to find what feature that was. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you are looking for a developer to do your theme update, I'll have a few links in the description for developers that you can contact. If you have any questions for me, please leave a comment and make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss the next video. See you next time.